I love Mike Hanson Archives.
You're ready to run.
There's a lot of questions. It took a little work to get to the This is April 19th, 1998, 5 years after the murder of children. We were just reading the Austro-American Statesman. It never talks about the children. It talks about David Koresh being some sort of cult leader. Of course, the media doesn't want to discuss Waco rules of engagement. And I was surprised that it was nominated for an Academy Award, but of course it didn't win. We're coming out here to help keep the memory alive of the butchery, the murder. Because Bill Clinton was insecure and wanted to flex his muscles, and the BATF wanted more funding. They wanted to raise the American people's consciousness about cults and out-of-control organizations of this nature. So they surrounded the place, opened fire with helicopters, and then 51 days later set it on fire, sent hit teams inside, and murdered the people. Those that tried to escape were machine gunned from outside. Only a couple people got out alive, and that's because they came out the front where they had cameras.
We're fixing to show you everything.
We're fixing to show you everything out there and get a lot of important interviews. This is the Freedom Report.
If you can get across to these guys that the New World Order is not a pie in the sky, it's the people. They're going to go to concentration camps for weeks.
That's right. They're going to be the ones that
We're not the enemy. We're not trying to get them.
If nothing else, like I told you, if nothing else, they can see that this is people that are trading ideas.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of that. It's not, us going there and having some private clandestine meetings about how to overthrow the government or something. And I told Wes, I said, even if we agree to disagree, I figure that's the worst thing that'll come out of it.
Well, I think that we don't want to get in there with a confrontational attitude.
No, and I'm not going to allow that either.
Yeah.
I don't mind them being asked tough questions. I told them your right to fight, y'all. Why are you so
Party for your right to fight.
You got a party for your right to fight. The Beastie Boys had it backwards. Chuck D figured it out. You got a party for your right to fight. No, that's
We like that.
He made this foray, but he said, I have a feeling it's going to become a love fest, that you guys that have always said all these bad things about police and ATF and all this are suddenly going to have a change of heart and go, oh, these are wonderful, we support all this. I'm going to push along. I'm going to similar. I sit around for 5 minutes.
There's this girl down in Houston stalking me.
We're going to Texas for the first time in a long time.
Yes, sir.
Right on the left there. Oh, the mag bag, that's, do you know anything about Waco and all the raid on the Branch Davidians? Okay, well, supposedly they had a bunch of guns here, which it was an empty building, they decided to bulldoze down.
And I try to stay away from that long running stuff. I got bits and pieces of it.
Yeah, most people are
just really involved. So is that part of the compound?
No. Actually, it wasn't a compound. It was really a church. That's what the media decided to call it.
Looks like a lot of good fishing.
No, that was just a storage facility they had. And, yeah. And they decided to ram one of their vehicles through it.
Through that place back there?
It was like a jungle king over there. See the burn off drop, as you can see.
You said what's your he's a brown person. Billy Ray Tom. 926-66.
Yeah, just pull off.
Somewhere
Somebody brought the Liberty.
Here, we need to. That's Wiley. Tell Wiley where she wants us to.
Hey, somebody has some tape.
Let me let her know while we're here.
Okay, let me let this arrow. I think she can see.
You have tape?
So
Let me.
Whoa!
if I don't turn the amp.
Woo! What the f was that?
Got a crowd. Uh-oh. It's got a...
I don't want to get run over by the bus.
Let my drink spill back there. I'm going to have a wet seat.
Each of us has a responsibility because you're here. You live in this country. You live here now. You have a responsibility. And you can choose to ignore that. But then on the other hand, everybody can go out and make a movie. I didn't think I could. I hope that stands as some example to you that you can go out and do crazy and wild things, folks. Good things. But nevertheless, things you wouldn't expect of yourself. So it seems that one of the byproducts of what happened here is that we have an opportunity to be greater than what we might have otherwise been. I know there's certain of you that have come here for the first time in 5 years because it's been too painful for you to deal with.
He loves it. And his goon squad follow us, or I don't know what to call them.
Jackbooted thugs.
Jackbooted thugs is what they were, what they are.
So this is the road they drove down.
Across the front and one up back, so they have a complete video camera record. They watched it over QXDI and people over two satellite facilities. They watched it over. They have a complete video in possession of the FBI.
Can you do basically the same statement you gave the radio guy about your trees and everything over here? Well, a little bit of what you did over there. That's my husband. He's going to get you on access.
I do now. Yes, I moved here Thursday.
Will you continue to live here?
God willing, I've been threatened a great deal. I haven't been actually harmed, but I've had a 20-foot dog chain folded up, hid on the ground right next to me, and the guy who did that said he was coming back that night to beat me as soon as it was dark.
Who is he?
He's the man Andrew, the guy who is in control of this property. I believe he's taking a government paycheck. He is the chief suspect in the arson of this building, and this building, which took place on January 1st of 1997. That was the first government attempt to get me off this property. And then he was seen by 2 witnesses tearing down the pavilion that replaced the museums, which is why I'm hanging in a tree here. Anyway, this is the story of all the harassment that I've put up with for coming out here and cracking the cover. That's not here now. You can see on the ground where it was arson. Now Clive Doyle brought his group in here. Okay. He put this man on the property when Tom Drake left here in February. And they out of 77 acres, the only place Clive could think of to build was on the site of this pavilion. Was that necessary? I don't think so. Not with 77 acres. He could have built anywhere here. But it's been an effort to stifle what I have to say here because I talk about the persecution of the rodents, which David Koresh was part of. And the government is happier to have him here saying, well, we didn't do anything. Okay, and we were innocent and they just came and jumped our case. Then they are to have me saying the government helped steal the property in 1966. They forced the rodents to repurchase it in '73. They gave it to David Koresh on a claim that involved 6 members of a defunct executive council in 1988. Well, they confirmed it in 1989 by summary judgment, which wasn't appropriate because summary judgment denies jury and is only supposed to be used when there's no facts in controversy. I mean, I'm telling the whole story of what the government's done here to this church for 30 years. And Clive Doyle stands up there and says, we didn't do anything, and it came out of nowhere. Okay, which they're a hell of a lot happier. If I weren't here doing this, they'd probably be suppressing Clive Doyle too. but they're a hell of a lot happier with what he has to say than with me standing here and saying the government set the fire, and the place where they set the fire, which is right there, the first fire, and the infrared tapes show it, was outside the compound when they set it. And Koresh's people could not have set the fire. The government obviously set the first fire. And they would just rather, the reason I'm being so persecuted here, and I think it's from the government, I mean, I've seen undercover feds here come and go, and my God, they always join Clive's group, and they always give me one hell of a hard time. And they don't do anything for Clive Doyle except give me a hard time, okay? And I'm just tired of it. I'm passing out free literature over it. I just have had as much as I can take of having to rebuild out here.
And you've been here since Thursday?
Well, I lived on this property from August of '93 to June or July of '97, at which point Tom Drake took it over and I went to Florida and wrote. And Tom Drake quit in February this year, and I came back at the end of March and discovered that they had taken over the property and they had to grab my place, because it's just typical of the attempts to silence me. Like I said to somebody yesterday, if they keep trying to silence me, they're going to give me a hell of a lot of credibility, because they burned me out, they've torn me down, they locked me up back in '94, and I've had it. I'm tired of this. I want the word out that the government was messing with this church for 40 years, not they suddenly came out of the blue and fell on David Koresh.
When did David Koresh?
David Koresh joined the church in '70.
This was the front of the building. This was the front of the building. There's various things written around here.
Stolen by government. Old vault, interior bunker. Tunnel from small underground rooms to original location of buried bus. Both were sites of incendiary device explosions. Evidence stolen via court order. 9,000 cubic feet of dirt and contents. Metal front door riddled with incoming rounds. ATF fired on Koresh as he met them at the door. And the water tower.
Is my own government. What a god-awful thing for a man of nonviolence to have to say. But that was a long, long time ago. He couldn't have dreamed of the violence that independently targeted maneuverable gas occurred. What happened? You see what a struggle we have.
See there, Mr. Ritter. How we doing? See y'all made it.
We got the sunshine today.
Sure is a beautiful day.
Essential that we struggle for the truth.
Yeah, I didn't know what happened to you.
Well, we got a little bit of a late start right now, but we picked it up.
Oh, that's a good deal.
Things going, so.
We only need one thing.
We all got here anyway.
Yes, we did.
And that's us not going to get justice. You know, we have to act. We can't act.
need to keep that going.
We've got to carry on. Today is the 50th anniversary of Israel.
My sister, the chemical analysis. So what would this be? I guess this would be the hallway leading to gym. Leading to gym. Let's see, that's north, just south, okay, let's see, that's north. That would be southeast of church. Collected 4/19/98. And Tex is my witness. This stuff is really strange. Look how hard it is. See how hard it is? It's going into the envelope. Joshua, move out of the way. Going into the envelope. Being sealed up. And I have permission from the lady under the tree who is with the Rohans, the original founders of the church. Now let's step back this way, ladies and gentlemen. You see it though? It's like hard as lava. There's a blue one back here I want to get a piece of. Okay. All right, let's try this one. Okay, this is the black stuff. All right. Now we're gonna go into the gym here, and there's some blue stuff. If I can find it again. Spot over there. Blue. Some things and stuff. I don't know, that looks more like little paint fiber or something there. But that looks like a piece of it. I'm gonna come get a piece of this one. Alright. Okay, here we are. We are in the gym. Joshua, move. We are in the gym area. I'm going to try to get a piece of this. There was a piece of it loose before. Mr. Ellingson's probably going to kill me for doing this to his pen. There. One little blue piece going into the southwest. Joshua, move that way. Going into the southwestern bell envelope. I got to fold this one up a couple times because it's got a big hole in it. It is down there, isn't it? Yes, it's right there. I'll roll this baby up. And seal it. And Aunt Sid, you better do this thing for me. Okay, this is blue stuff from the gym. Blue stuff. Gym area. Collected for 1998. And as Tex as my witness. We'll get this to my sister, and hopefully we'll find something out about it. The casual tourist strikes again. Alright, I'll let her know that I got this, and I'll get her to say something. Let me just put her initials or something on it.
Pieces of information. The New American Magazine. I encourage you to get Waco Rules of Engagement because it's so well documented and so methodical in its presentation of the facts and the information of the government-sponsored terrorism that happened here in 1993 on April 19th. But I've been an FM radio host for about 16 months. I've had a TV show for about 3 years. And all I do is bring guests and information and try to expose what's happening. And it really is incredible what's happening in this country. But you can see the backlash. You can see more and more people becoming conscious of the police state here in our country. Ramsey Clark, a famous attorney general, was just up on the podium here speaking about what's been happening, what's been going on, the growing militarization of our local police departments under federal control. The thin blue line, that euphemism, really means militarized tactics in our local police, and we hear about it more and more in the mainstream media. Secretary of Defense William Cohen just a short time ago announced on CNN that they're going to create 10 regional teams to work with local law enforcement under FEMA. That's totally unconstitutional, and yes, they do wear black. And I think that's very scary that people in black uniforms wearing black ski masks are training with semi-automatic and fully automatic weapons. Local law enforcement centers are being given free federal helicopters and armored personnel carriers and weapons. And when you see this growing in our nation, you can see that the disparity between rich and poor is getting larger and larger. You can really tell that that the corporate establishment is engaging in more and more criminality, and they're the real group that is getting all the corporate welfare. So I would just say to everybody out there, it's time to have an information revolution. It's time to quit trusting the mainstream media. I'm not saying turn away from them, but you need to support independent filmmakers, people that are putting out documentaries and information, because if we don't, the pendulum is going to continue to swing towards authoritarian command and control, and we're going to be in a lot of trouble.
February the 28th. Robert Williams. On April the 19th. Fire took the lives of the following. Janelle Andrade, United States. Jennifer Andrade, United States. Catherine Andrade, United States. Ulrich George Bennett, England. Susan Detta, England. Mary Jean Morse, United States. Pablo Cohen, Israel. Abigail Dabo Davies, Nigeria and England. Sherry Elena Doyle, United States. Beverly Elliott, England. Doris Fagan, Jamaica, England. Yvette Fagan, Jamaica, England. Lisa Marie Ferris, United States.
Classics on this channel here, Hanson Archives. But to fund this station, I'm offering, if you send us $25, we'll send you a signed copy of Bohemian Grove, Cult of Conspiracy. It was forwarded by Tex Mars that just recently passed away. Also, Alex Jones has a chapter in here. And you know that's good. There's us in our younger days. But on the address that you see. Send us $25 and we will send you a signed copy, or give us a call at 830-672-3089 and you can put it on a credit card. We'll send it right out. But that's what we need to help fund this channel, folks. So help us get all the classics uploaded to YouTube. We got hundreds and hundreds of old Alex Jones and Jeff Davis and a bunch of other Patriots that we need to upload. About 25-year-old tapes.
Abigail Martinez, United States. Audrey Martinez, United States. Crystal Barrios, United States. Isaiah Taco Barrios, United States. Joseph Samuel Martinez, United States. Juliet Santoyo, United States. John Mark McBean, Jamaica, England. Ellison Bernadette Monbelly, England. Melissa Morrison, England. Rosemary Morrison, England. Sonia Murray, England. Teresa Nobrega, England. James Jimmy Lloyd Riddle, United States. Rebecca Sophia, New Zealand. Judith Schneider, United States. Lina Schneider, United States. Stephen Schneider, United States. Clifford Sellers, England. Floracita Sonobi, Philippines. Scott Ochiro Sonobi, United States. Aisha Garbus Summers, Australia. Startle Summers, United States. Unnamed Abortus Fetus Summers, United States. Gregory Allen Summers, United States. Hollywood Sylvia, United States. Lorraine Sylvia, England, United States. Rachel Sylvia, United States. Margarita Viega, China, United States. Neil Viega, New Zealand, United States. Mark Wendell, United States. There are a couple of survivors who died since 1993. We have stones here for them, and the flowers. And they will be placed over here later. James Lauder, United States. He passed away November the 25th, 1996. Jamie Martin, United States. Jamie passed away February the 11th of this year. We have also a number of survivors that are still in prison, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about each one of them. Renus Abram, born February 26, 1964. He's a British businessman and musician of Greek heritage. He joined the Davidians in 1990 at Leavenworth, Kansas. Soaking mainly with his grandchildren in Campbell now. Look at what some of the guards have been doing there. And that's why he is now in Oklahoma City during that investigation. His life could be in danger if he left there at Leavenworth. And so hopefully some of that may be straightened out. Livingston Bacon has had a very, very tough 5 years, as they all have. But Livingston won't play their games. Livingston has been put outside to coach down in the winter and then put in a cold cell with nothing on because he just refused to play any of their games. Those are the men that are in prison. And if you'd like to write address is available where they all are, and I'm sure that they'd love to hear from you. We bow our heads just for a minute or so for those also survivors who know exactly how you feel. We appreciate your being here, and feel free to come in and look through the museum. It'll get larger. There'll be more here as time goes by. And thank you all very, very much for coming. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Wes is taller than Jeff. No, he's walking in the hole. Oops.
Say that, Mr. Ritter.
How we doing?
I don't want to get.
Go right ahead,
Don't
man.
let me go over here. No, let me go over here.
We doing what we
Look at this one.
You know her?
Yeah, but I bet she doesn't remember me.
No, you from Dallas?
Jeff Davis.
Oh, Jeff, you're from Austin. I'm always here. I come from Missouri every year.
Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you. So what's going on in Austin? I'm trying to get back, but I can't sell my house.
You probably couldn't recognize me with all this attire.
Yeah. No.
He's undercover.
So,
I basically am.
How many of you came up? Did you come up on the bus?
No, I come up when I did grow up.
Okay. No, I got in here yesterday afternoon, and I stayed here on the grounds right over there last night.
Let me give you our number, man. She used to be active in the Libertarian deal.
That's how I got the civil rights.
Yeah, did you was on
In fact, you were one of the first ones that ever told me about the conspiracy, man.
Yeah.
And I looked at you like, what conspiracy?
Because you look awful familiar. Was she on your show, Jeff, sometime? Or when you came to a memorial?
That's how I got the.
I've been here before, but what happened? Are there any more?
She's actually, I think, maybe the first one to tell me about the conspiracy. In a libertarian meeting, I looked at her and I said, what conspiracy?
Yeah.
What do you got going up there? You got any activities going up there, huh?
No.
Any,
They're brain dead. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm from Dallas. I used to be in the real estate business up there, and came to Austin to get some stuff done. So everybody that's here is part of a seminar that we're doing down there every month.
I went to a private property rights meeting in Columbia, Missouri. It was a good meeting.
Oh, go ahead.
Well attended. But no one from my area would go there. I mean, that's serious stuff.
Well, Dallas is going to have one of our seminars up there. We're going to do Houston and San Antonio. We're bringing them up there, but we need some contacts. You got any contacts up there that we can work with?
About what kind of thing? I mean,
to bring some seminars up.
Not in Joplin. It's so brain dead. I wouldn't want to send you there. How about Tulsa? Will you try to get?
There's a lot of
for some reason or other, I'm still thinking.
They go bowling.
Oh yeah.
And they go to their church service.
Everybody's
Don't
entertained.
confuse me with the facts, right?
They don't want to look.
They're waiting for the rapture.
I've got it. I sell it. They don't want to look at it.
They don't want to see it.
They don't want to see it.
They're waiting for the rapture. They don't think they're going to be involved because they believe the
Yeah,
rapture
well,
is
the
coming
Chinese
before.
church believed that up until 1949.
Let us go over some of your stuff. If you've got
You need to come down there and do an interview with us. Talk to them and tell somebody tell us we need women, you know, because women don't listen to men. Wes, you need her to come down. See, I was telling, just said about the rapture. She said the Chinese church.
There's no question. This lady right here.
In 1949, the Chinese
Why, who
church
is she?
tripped by the I'm Sarah Lowe. Hi.
Sarah Lowe,
Very
I
nice
was
to
talking
meet
to
you.
you
Archie's
before.
wife.
It's Archie Lowe's wife.
Like you're up there by yourself.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Yeah, I
they
guess
were on
I'm a
Jeff's
little
show.
Yes,
He was on Jeff's show one time, right?
Yes, that's right.
Oh, okay, you told me earlier.
Yeah.
We're
We're gonna
bringing this and up several other ladies.
This is knowledge.
Let the wife speak. Because women, we couldn't even vote, remember, a few years
Well,
ago.
I shouldn't mention Fish, but Joyce out down there once, I guess.
Well, she's getting some stuff done. I mean, Jeff is working with her now to do some. She is a student, and she was down at the ASAP program.
Yeah.
We were down there. The truancy program down there. She's all vocal, working on and capital stuff too. So
He started the show.
I got out of it.
Not afraid to tell the truth.
I'm for president.
I'm telling you,
I've been
it's
doing that.
Are we gonna eat?
What restaurant is it?
The waterfront, what's the name of that restaurant? I don't know, it's by the river. I think Harry's Waterfront. They announced it up there.
I didn't. It came up.
I don't know.
I really don't know. I don't know.
We have he's fixed it up here. He does. He's got to.
Let's get about the different tax. I get that. Bring out all the children.
Do that. All right, thanks.
You know, there ain't no more but abortion, slaughter, children, as sheep taken to the slaughter, us Americans. Let's go, there you go. You know what's right, right?
All the communication we've got up there, there's a real chance in this world of getting something done. We've got the hottest thing in the country.
Yeah.
What are you doing taking my picture?
Well.
This way, I can cook it.
I don't know if I should or not.
Go for it.
Sure.
They're like, wait on there.
Put the word, if anywhere you get an opportunity to speak, here it is. Just take it.
Speak truth. Walk.
Greg and
Oh, where they went now.
Mike and them have a division and that kind of thing. But Mike's moving very forward, very strong in his direction right there. We're bringing Jeff up on another show. The new Jeff Davis show over there. I'm doing some promotions right now to try to get him on the air, get him to speaking engagements, and kind of get him in the activity going right there. Alex is back online now, 100%. Everybody's moving in the right direction again. You know, we have all, a few little family things every now and then, like we all do, right? But we get it done. We get it done. The whole deal is, no matter what we're doing, we all move in the same direction. We always keep the door open. Anybody. Yeah, no matter what happens, we all keep the door open for everybody. All of us.
Should I say I'm ashamed of what the government did, or what happened, or what the government did?
You follow along what they ask.
Well, they say the one of the questions we asked is like, what do you think out here? I say, well, I think it's a tragedy what the government
infuriated the old local rep of the UN. Cooksey. He was Frank Cooksey, our old mayor, and he's got some ties with getting us thrown off the air and getting access limit to what we can say and show.
How are the people?
How
did the people respond? I mean, have you gotten people calling in or whatever?
Oh yeah,
getting bigger and bigger every day.
Oh, man, it's incredible. But the credentials of the people who are coming forward and talking about this stuff.
Wow,
it's just incredible.
Austin is our capital too.
Oh, I'm telling you. And we went down to. Have you seen our thumb scanning deal? We did a big thumb scanning protest.
That was really exciting.
It was huge. It was huge. We went down and Alex says he brought 8 forms of identification, his old driver's license, birth certificates, things that
passport,
everything that already has it.
I know. Well, I got my latest driver's license. They needed a thumbprint. I immediately went ahead and gave it to him because I figured.
Well, I did too, but that was a couple of years ago. That won't happen again. But he brought also. Anyway, he brought all this down. He says, I've never been in jail. This is who I am. I would like to get my driver's license. All of us were crammed into that DPS office. There's never been a situation, I don't think, like a DPS office.
They
like
were
that
surprised.
Ever.
Yeah.
They behaved very well. They were real,
professional about it.
They were. Now, I can't say the same thing for the Austin PD later.
They were pretty funny.
On the spot because he says, I refuse to leave until I get my driver's license without thumb scanning.
Yeah.
While he was standing there, they were telling him, well, I'll get you a chair. They said at first you can stay here all day, and he says, oh well, you mean at 5 o'clock you guys aren't going to lock me up, And he says no, I want my ID now. So they arrested him on the spot, but not before he could pass out the federal registry where Bill Clinton has already asked for blood and urine to get a driver's license?
No.
Yes. Yes. And so all of this was filmed. Everybody came down and filmed it.
Everybody had cameras.
Yeah. Everybody was in the DPS. I was hollering at the sheriff's department, pleading with them. I didn't want to be negative towards them, but I wanted to plead with them to stand up for all the blood that was shed for us to be free. And
what'd they do?
They were real polite. They just kind of stood and watched and did their job, but they didn't really harass us. And finally, when they arrested Alex, we sang the Star Spangled Banner while they pulled him back and everything.
Was the media there?
Yes, regular media was there, but they showed like maybe a minute of what happened outside, and one girl coming out and saying, "Seems kind of weird that everybody's talking about this." And there was there was all of us down there with our banners and everything, and they
didn't show any of that.
All together.
The media is very
completely controlled. Then they took him out the back instead of taking him to the front to go to the police station. They tried to pull the old switcheroo on us.
Yeah.
And they took him down to Austin Police Department. And
we had the building surrounded though.
I don't know what Alex plans on doing with that, but yeah, that's all over the internet too.
It's unreal, isn't it? Yeah, that we live in a country that we thought was free.
Incredible. But now they want us to give out blood and urine to get a driver's license. That's in the Federal Registry right now.
Just can't do it. I will not take that. I will not give that. I will not give it.
But that's not good enough. Now we're going to have a federal ID card. You know about that.
Yeah, we're talking about
it. Of course, that's going to have thumb scanning and blood and urine eventually.
What does the Nazi say? Show me your papers, please. You know?
Your appropriate papers, and then you can go. Yeah. Then you're free to
they're
go.
going to set about. They are going to set about conditions such that if people are not religiously correct, I think, and if you're not politically correct, but I think the religious element will become more profound. That if you're not religiously correct, that you will not have a right to buy or sell, or you won't have a right to exist.
Sure, you'll be a terrorist. Well, I went down on that same day. I went down and I said, I don't want a license to drive. I want an identification card so that I can buy and sell cash checks like this, show proof who I am. They said, you still have to thumb scan. I said, but I'm not driving. I just want, you still have to thumb scan. And eventually I'll still have to do the blood and urine when that comes around.
That's insane.
So there you
go.
When
is that blood and urine? When is that going to take effect?
I don't know what the set date is for it. I have it at my house and I can't tell you, but I bet you.
And that was put through via an executive order?
Yeah. Well, the same way we got thumb scan. That was
an executive order.
I believe so. Yeah.
See, that's nothing the media just totally is asleep upon. You know, what are these? Number one, I don't believe the president should have the power of executive orders anyway.
Right. I think there's been more executive orders in this term than any other.
It's unreal. I hear through the Patriot different sources that you hear about them, but I don't have any. I've never gone to the law library and actually found them. I understand you can do that and see them actually.
Oh, you need to see Ted Gunderson's Chronicles. It's incredible. Alex has been showing them. I don't even know where to begin with that.
I've got some of Ted's
The establishment of concentration camps, the warrantless searches, just all the all the executive orders you ever wanted to bring total totalitarianism to the United States.
There was a video advertising the Spotlight. I think I'm going to get that they were wanting $25 for that. It compares the rise of Hitler's Germany, Hitler-style Germany, to what's happening now.
Was it New World Order?
I don't think it was New World Order. I don't think it was that. That was the name, but it was something about.
Watchdog 95?
That's a book, isn't it?
That's a film about Oklahoma City. About they're blowing it up and comparing it to how Hitler burned the Reichstag.
I don't remember the name of this video. I just saw it in the recent Spotlight.
There's several of those going around right now. Most of the ones that I've seen have no information. But I'll tell you what, man, if there's any way you can hook up with
I've got
Texas Best Seminars, you can get all this information.
These started.
Get on down there.
All you ever didn't want to know.
Oh yeah, all you ever didn't want to know.
But I do want to know. I want to know what's being done to me and my family.
Sure. Thumb scamming. Yeah.
I frankly think if you could, it'd be good to head for the hills and be as independent and detached from the system as possible. And unfortunately, I'm not.
There's a real good friend of mine that's going through DTAX, and that's where you.
Cash basis.
Well, yeah. That's where you unravel all the secret contracts that we're in with the government to pay taxes, and the fact that all of our taxes that we pay are voluntary, and we come into a contract with them through papers that we sign unknowingly, thinking that it's mandatory, but it's voluntary. Just like Social Security is voluntary. You don't have to have a card or a number.
How do you get out of it? What's the
You write them, first you write them a letter asking them if it's voluntary. Then they send it back to you. I've seen it for myself because Jeff got it. Then you see for yourself where it's highlighted that this is that this is voluntary. Then you use that, send them official affidavits to, I think, 2 or 3 places, Washington and I believe Baltimore. You're out.
Is there a person that has a
Some people have actually collected the money that they've paid in already. Cool. Yeah.
Oh, I'm very resentful of the fact that I'm paying into it. I'm paying more Social Security than I am income tax. Well,
let me give you a number of a guy who's doing this. He's totally becoming completely free. He's gotten rid of almost everything. His name is Jeff Contreras. I'm sure he wouldn't mind me giving you this at all.
He's very good.
Yeah, 458 4008.
4008. And that's area code Austin?
Yeah, 512.
512. Okay. Let me give him a call. Because that's just something I need to do. I mean, I've been thinking about at least getting out of Social Security. I don't know about the income tax, but is it easier to get out of the Social Security?
Erwin Schiff says you can get out of all that stuff.
Hey, how you doing?
See, is that an interview going on?
I don't know. Is this your father?
No, yeah.
Oh, thanks.
You understand? Just like Nuremberg. Just taking orders doesn't cut it, my friend. You understand me?
I think I've assessed you.
Yeah, oh, you've assessed me. Listen, you can sit there and say some kind of little joke. All your textbook garbage, my friend. I got people like General Parton, ex-head of Air Force Weapons Development. We know the federal government destroyed Oklahoma. It's proven. We know what you guys are engaged in, just like Hitler burnt the Reichstag. We know you brought Nazis over here through the rat line to set up our CIA after the OSS. So you can't sit here. You can assess me all day. I want you to assess me. I've assessed you. A smiley-faced slime ball that sits here and soft pedals and tries to placate the media. Waco Rules of Engagement shows your agents machine gunning men, women, and children as they tried to exit. One of the inventors of flared technology worth hundreds of millions of dollars is on that documentary. He is of the establishment.
If you would review the documentary, you'd find that I'm in the film as well.
Yeah. Well, yes, I just saw you over here. I watched the first time it came out.
You obviously haven't reviewed it.
You are backpedaling.
You obviously haven't reviewed it because in the film I clearly state that the majority of the people that died here are homicide victims.
Yes.
Yeah, by who though? Review your own film.
Yeah, but you're saying that they had 500,000 rounds of ammunition.
On top of them. On top of them.
Yes. They didn't have 500,000 rounds of ammunition. I just talked to Clive Doyle.
Oh, okay. And Clive is the expert on the total number of pieces of ammo.
Yes.
Oh, he is?
Yes.
Well, Clive's the one that invited me here.
Well, fine.
Okay.
Well, I just hear you over here soft pedaling stuff, and I'm sick of it.
I don't think you understand where I'm coming from. I don't think you have your story straight.
I think I do have it straight.
I'm on your side. I am the one that appeared in Mike McNulty's film.
I know. I've seen you in there.
Well, obviously you don't know my story.
It sounded to me.
Until you come back and you reviewed the film and you know my story, then I'll address you.
It sounded to me what I heard you saying when you were soft pedaling it.
I beg to differ with you, my friend. I beg to differ with you. I mean, if you're trying to enhance your cause in Austin, I beg to differ with you.
I'm not trying to enhance anything.
Oh, yes, you are.
I hate this movement. I was a hell of a lot happier before I found out about all this garbage.
Well, how do you think I feel?
Okay.
How do you think I feel? I mean, I was here. You weren't. I was a part of the negotiation team. You weren't.
Yeah. I heard you on the. I've heard you on the tape.
Oh, you've heard me on the tape.
Yeah.
Could you tell me what I said on the tape?
Oh, you said all kinds of stuff like. It was either you or one of the other gentlemen sits there and says...
Oh, wait a minute. No, you said me.
Well, you say that there's no weapons mounted on the helicopters.
I never said that. I never said that.
Oh, okay. Well, look, anybody that's part of the FBI at this time...
I'm not part of the FBI. I don't work for the FBI anymore.
Well, you were.
Just because I was doesn't mean that I side with everything they think.
Everything? Well, I guess Frederick Whitehurst, he's a kook too, isn't he?
I wouldn't call Frederick Whitehurst a kook.
Yeah, one of the heads of the FBI crime lab says they manufactured evidence here and all across the board.
I didn't say Frederick Whitehurst. You're the one that said Frederick Whitehurst.
Yeah.
Say that.
Yeah.
I'm not that way. No, I don't. You completely missed the point. You completely missed the point. You don't even know who I am. You haven't even reviewed Waco, the rules of engagement, to know who I am and what I stand for.
I have seen Waco. I was there at the premiere in Austin, Texas. What are you talking about?
Well, good. You need to go check out the video and look at it again, and then come to me with your questions or your statements.
I've seen it about 5 times.
Or your accusations of soft pedaling.
Okay, that's fine. I think it is soft pedaling. I heard enough. I sat over there for about 3 minutes and listened to you.
Then you can move on. Go on there.
Herman Goering and drag. Are you? Oh, so you're not calling for Herman Goering and drag?
What about the people around?
This garage? No, no, great show.
Jimmy, you're doing a fantastic job. Meet Jimmy Ritter. Jimmy Ritter.
Jimmy Ritter. Jimmy Ritter.
I'm lost.
Who the hell?
How you doing, man?
A lot of people from Austin.
He's from Austin.
You get a limit? Get something going?
I've been here before, so I don't know.
I think you're sweet. Pretty close.
I think our bus is waiting on us.
She says that David was an excellent singer.
The rules of engagement. I said, should Reno be indicted? And he goes, no. Okay. No. I said, yeah, well, I said, should Reno be indicted? And that provocateur agent was out here, and all the media was around him, sucking up his lies, just walked around the rubble going, oh, the ball.
They all committed suicide.
We got it, everybody. I don't know, I think he's going to look like
And that's where he believed that God took him and showed him the book of Revelations and showed him that he was the Lamb of God and he was the one who was supposed to. She didn't seem to know too much about it when I asked her. She said I'd be better off asking Claude Doyle about that. But
put it in.
Well, not now.
But she basically just told me about his childhood.
Oh, God, it was terrible. Wait till you see it.
What do you think? He wants to kill children. He said,
look at that smirk.
Remember what happened and to continue to ask why. It's an image burned into the memory of America.
5 years ago today, fire consumes the Mount Carmel Center near Waco with 80 people inside. It was the tragic end to a 51-day standoff after federal agents tried to arrest David Koresh on weapons charges. In tonight's top story, KV24's Danny Hermosillo tells us now the Davidians have found some unlikely allies for their cause.
The tragic end to the Branch Davidian standoff still takes its toll among the survivors.
David Koresh, United States.
Sheila Martin and others remember these names as friends, children, and spouses.
Many times I think of it as like I've really been like in a continual funeral. It's like I live it every day. I see the faces.
There's a new face on the scene of the standoff. Mount Carmel now houses a museum that attracts those searching for the truth behind the tragedy. That search has drawn some unlikely supporters.
We have to engage in the struggle for the duration until the truth is known.
Former U.S. Attorney General Ramsey Clark now represents the surviving Davidians in their wrongful death suit against the government.
It's not a matter of taking sides. It's not the government against the people or the people against the government. It's the people's government working for the rights of the people.
That's where I recovered the majority of the bodies.
Ferris Rookstool also defends the Davidians.
All the women and children were kind of huddled up into this corner section there.
The former FBI agent recovered many of the bodies and gathered the evidence after the fire. He says the government mishandled the situation.
There were major mistakes made in this case, not only from the way things were handled, but the way things were negotiated and the way things were affected as in the form of trying to take control of the crime scene.
These 82 trees were planted as living memorials to the Branch Davidians killed during the standoff. And as they continue to grow, so does the myth surrounding the siege. But maybe in time there will be a blade of truth as to what really happened. In Waco, Danny Hermosillo, KV24 News.
4 ATF agents were also killed during the initial raid on Mount Carmel. 7 Branch Davidians are serving terms from 15 to 40 years for either killing those officers or other weapons charges. Today is also...
Many Davidians still live on the land, and they...
Children. Photos of them and Koresh are featured in a museum that opened today.
That they were there for the right reason, and David was telling them the truth.
Sheila Martin lost her husband and 4 children.
The pain of knowing that they died so horribly, such a pain of the fire. I mean, we have dark shoes on in the sun, and when our feet start to burn, their whole bodies were burning, their whole faces, everything.
Sheila takes us to the trees that represent her family. First, she finds the daughter named after her.
She was just 15, and when I think that she's the age that my son died, she would have been 20 this year.
Her son Douglas was the spitting image of his father. Sheila reminisces about the good times. Anita used to do her mom's hair.
She went into the ladies' room with me, and she's fixing it, and she goes, "They won't know who's the mother or the daughter," she says, because she was so much taller than I was, something like that. And so we would joke about things like that. It gave us a chance to have a good relationship. And this is my husband over here, this one.
Sheila and Wayne were married for 20 years.
When I think of a man and a woman being in love, he's the only one that I shared my experiences with.
Lisa was just 13.
I still think about her a lot. I still hear her laugh when my other little girl laughs.
It's hard for Sheila Martin to visit this land. Time hasn't taken the pain away. That kind of wound never heals. In Waco, Susan Risden, News 36.
That photo we just showed you of Sheila's family, it's the only family picture she has, and it will hang at the New Branch Davidian Museum.
In December in Kyoto, President Clinton has drafted a plan which will cause...
You need to be aware of these secret groups that are taking over the world, including the UN. They control the UN. They control everything else.
See if we can read some of these. Dollars for people, not weapons. No war. We are all Zapatistas. Stop killing Iraqi people.
And they asked for my driver's license number.
Yes, sir.
I yelled out in front of the crowd. I said, Hillary, and it should...
We don't want your bloody war. 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't want your bloody war. 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't want your bloody war.
The planned attack. The planned attack on Iraq is a violation of the bomb set. To bomb Iraq right now, there is no moral justification. There's no of hypocrisy. Never have the. What's your feelings on it's all about money? No, I don't. It's not all about money. It's all about stupidity. I mean, all Saddam Hussein. There are a few events coming up. I'm a member of the anti-war committee and protesting the war against Iraq. Now, we had a rally today at UT, and
For access television channels. E-R-I-C-S-O-N? Yes. Son of Eric. I'm 46. Thank you, ma'am. I'm sorry to yell at you. Was the local police? Local police.
Plain clothes?
No. Uniform police. Escorted out by local law enforcement. Greg, I'm sorry. Escorted out by local law enforcement.
He didn't raid the SWAT team, huh?
A SWAT team.
Well, let's go on back in there. I bet we can get him out.
3, 4. Stop the nation, stop the war. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stop the nation, stop the war. Stop the nation, stop the war. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stop the nation, stop the war. 1, 2.
Obviously some kind of intelligence unit. They got real nervous when we went to talk to her. And then he ran off around behind the building. Blood, urine, test on Clinton and his gang. I like that, right. That'll never happen.
Every person in the United States has got to be a national register. He's on the other side of the van, Maryland. He's coming. You want blood and urine test?
No, they shouldn't even. They shouldn't do that because it's unnecessary.
You noticed they're putting up camera poles on all the freeways around Austin, haven't you?
They are?
Yeah.
It was?
And they'll soon have automatic people.
Hey, I was born there without that mic. You won't have no audio.
Thought you weren't going to make it. All right, let's get them all over here, though.
Yeah, get it. Hurry up. Hurry up, Jeff. Hurry, Jeff.
What, we're doing it right now?
Yeah.
Oh, things are falling off. Okay, folks, here we are. This is Jeff Davis Show.
Questions. There are many people asking why. There are many people paying attention. There are many now who see the big lie. There are many folks who want to get busy, and your great spirit is well organized. And you notice that it's starting to happen. You betrayed their trust, you now realize. Been crossed in the sand. to run. See the faces turn white as the people unite. Watch the roaches take flight as you turn on the light. You won't be trusted anymore. No, 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 you won't be trusted anymore. No, no, you won't be.
Okay, folks, it's Mike Hanson. Sorry to interrupt you here. We're busy in here. As you can see, we got editing going on, previewing over here, and we need your help to keep this rolling. We would love for you to send in $25, and I will send you back a signed copy of my book, Bohemian Grove, Cult of Conspiracy. It was forwarded by Tex Mars that just recently passed away, and it's fastly becoming a classic because there's not going to be any more Tex Mars. And that's when we snuck in back in the year 2000, the Bohemian Grove. There's Alex and myself when we were younger. Must be nice. And just, if you would, just send in your money and where you want it sent to our address here in Gonzales, Texas at 901 St. Joseph Street, Gonzales, Texas. If you want to call us here at 830-672-3089. Thanks a lot and God bless, and continue to subscribe to our YouTube channels here, Mike Hanson Archives, and our newest one, Waco Archives. Thanks a lot and God bless, and we'll let you get back to your classic viewing here on YouTube.
Come on, anybody want to come up here? All right, that's it. All right, who wants to lead? Let Gene go. Go ahead. Yes, sir. All right. God bless the Republic.